Alright, here's the deal. Op is very, very simple. If you open your maps, we are currently at this little staging point marked on the map. There is a dotted red line. You are going to take your ships and you are going to go to those docks. I would recommend using those docks because if you beach these ships on the ground or in shallow water, which is why you should really just follow the dotted red line there, at least for the sloop, you should land it by the docks because otherwise it starts spawning wrenches and could crash the server. So if the server crashes, it's probably because of that reason because I couldn't find any others going in. So if it crashes, it crashes.
Did you say wrenches or wenches?
There's a wrench down there.
I wish it spawned wenches. That would be nice. But anyway, second thing about this AO, I tried to make it as realistic as possible for the time period, so I remade a lot of the buildings in the red circled area, with an exception of the very north because I started noticing some benchmarking issues with the server. So, try to stay in that red area if you don't mind. You'll get the best bang for your buck if you do so. There are multiple trench lines, there's groups of infantry, the regional capital has a small fort wall, and there is a way that we can burn down the regional capital, but you have to find it. But it's close by. Next thing I will say.
C4?
Your boats have resupply, a lot of it. Also, these barrels that you see around us, if you find them in the AO, they also have a copy of what they spawned with. So, you know, blood bags, ammo, you probably won't need ammo resupply, but just in case, you've got those in the barrels. You might find a little bit on enemy bodies, but otherwise, barrels are at every major place to resupply off of. Feel free to steal enemy cannons and carry them around as well. And your respawn point is on the sloop. So real quick, because there will be a naval fight, if you happen to die, respawn on the sloop. If you move in the direction the sloop is moving, so just hold W in that direction, it'll actually stay on the sloop. Or you can just scroll wheel and quickly take a seat on it, and you'll be fine. So, I'm trying to think what else here. That should be it, from what I can recall.
Do you know what the effective ranges of the muskets are?
Yes, all.
I would say keep it within 150, 200 meters. So the muskets, they're accurate up to, I want to say, 20, 30 meters. Then the musket ball will start going wide in a random direction. So volley tactics will be effective here. I'm going to politely ask the squad leaders with swords not to run up and knife everything because the AI don't really know how to deal with that. If you start doing that, I'll literally run up, I'll remote control a guy and just dab you. So, you know, try to keep your squads in somewhat intact, but, you know, you do you. But otherwise, AO is pretty much live. Good luck, have fun, and I recommend you get to the docks ASAP, because the naval fight, the AI aren't that smart, and they will try to ram you because their pathfinding is shit.
Ah, shit.
I noticed we have cable ties. Are we trying to take
Cable tie? No. So I always give a cable tie to everybody in case someone has to go AFK, so you can just cable tie them and bring them with you because I hate keeping track of that.
That makes 1, 2,
Sounds good, thank you.
No problem.
5, 6. Everybody here. Let's get a boat.
Hey, can you, like, not jump on each other in the water? Because you just armored, like, 2 of your dudes. We already had a second death. Poor Rex. Alright, Rex.
Someone landed on me and killed me.
Yeah, that's what happens. Why you don't all jump into the boat like... Oh, great. It's gonna happen again over here, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun. You freaking tosspots! Oh, this is just based. Is that debug corner down there? Yeah, it's debug. Send in boat team 6.
Last time I was CFO and he told me to stop the ship.
So the reason that happened, they frickin' dropped anchor and still tried to move the boat, and it armored the boat. Oh, this is just based. This is actually brilliant.
Ready for orders.
Okay. Don't touch the anchor. You know, I probably should have been clear about that, but I like to think that people won't touch random stuff. Now I gotta find the spawn point and hope they don't do stupid stuff again. This is why I don't want to do naval stuff with this mod, because I know the players will find a way to break it. This is just based. This is just actually... Yeah, I learned my lesson there, and that's to make sure they don't do silly stuff like that. So, regardless, fun little technical difficulties there. Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we? I find it funny because the boats were set to invincible and they still cooked off. So now I'm not setting these. That's the only boat that's still set to invincible, so. Oh, man. Every time they manage to blow up an invincible asset, I literally just grin. And just go, yep, okay. It's good enough for me. But now that they've figured things out and we moved respawn, we'll get things sorted here. Excuse me. Ah, man. There we go. Now, let's hope that doesn't crash the server by deleting those spare assets from the boats, but it should be fine. Ah, the good old 40 hours. 40 hours can't test stupidity. Did they just... Anyway, as I was saying, 40 hours can't fix stupidity. What? Oh. They just shot their lead boat. Why? Why do you people do this? Did they just... Was that them firing the lead shot? Okay, please don't kill each other, guys. Please. Please. For the love of God, don't kill each other. Like... Ah! You know? But the 2 weeks I spent playing around with these assets... What I think happened was they dropped anchor and somehow made the ship still move because when they drop anchor, it's supposed to stop all movement.
Understood.
But it didn't, and it just blew them up.
Copy. On the way.
But otherwise, we're going to send the gunboats in. And I think they're respawning some people. Alright, let's quickly get King of Kings to get up, and he can hopefully get in real quick. There we go. Alright. So this gunboat's shooting at the American gunboat here. We're starting to get into it, because, oh my gosh. No, we took out the wind features of the ship from Nassau because it would break the ACE interactivity. So this would not be a thing. So I took the Nassau, however you pronounce it, Nassau mod, and I basically gutted some of the core components out, like the wind features and a lot of the naval features, because of somewhere in it and its set of dependencies, it would just cause issues. So we're getting to the swing of things now. I think this is what the boat that Skelly got in, but they're all kind of spread out.
Understood.
Now, the ship boat, how do I call them? What do I call them? How do I describe them would be a better sense. Their hitboxes are okay, but the amount of damage they take can be a little ridiculous with Ace. So I'm just gonna let them get close and engage things. They just gotta make sure they're not hitting their lead boat. I think that one's still set to invincible, though, so that's good. And they're taking pot shots from some of the guys in here. Let's give them a warm welcome. For some reason, these guys like to get off the guns and stay on the side turrets, which is what you're seeing with that. I don't think these guys are firing yet. some of those front swivel guns firing. So something I did notice, though, is these actually do have flag textures, and I thought they'd display in a regular sense, but I gotta look into if I could get those to set custom if I ever want to touch naval warfare again. So first boat's down. Now we gotta get to the second boat. I don't see any wrenches spawning in front of the captain there, so that's a good sign. Gotta make sure the sloop follows course. The gunboats can maneuver around.
On the way.
Oh, damn, they just sunk me without me having to end key it. That's good. It's nice. So now I can get back on course. We have a guy dead over here, probably from crossfire. And let's get our global skill set here. So we got a 90, 35, 50, 50 spread. So, sunken boat back here. Let's go ahead, get rid of that, and get rid of that body right there. And for now, the fleet will continue. So they're firing on the docks right now. It's way up there. Whew, my interface is having some drag. That's interesting. I did say to go on that dotted line. I wasn't joking about that, guys. I think that was a misping. Yep. Yeah, so there's still some dudes actually in the ship right there, so that's because Ace can let you survive ship breaches right there. So yeah, that gunboat needs to train right, otherwise it's gonna get sunk. Unless that's the invincible one, in which case, just all the merrier. I have these guys engaging.
Ship, 300 meters, southeast. Ship,
Yeah, I do love how they call out ships.
Reloading. 9, engage the ship, east.
I might have a man down in the middle. Sloop's taking a little bit of damage. Yeah, how do you deploy smoke in 1812? You just fire the musket. I do love how some of these muskets, they do have a bunch of smoke that comes out with them. That was an HE hit. So ironically, now the lead ship's all the way in the back. Radine, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry.
Just say if.
If, I'll tell you when to respawn and spawn on the sloop, okay? They're about to, land. Yeah, all good. Yep, there will be 40k tonight. I'll have an on-the-ground op and a Zeus op. This thing flying by, shooting them with, cannons here. Some of these, cannonballs flying by. Oh, they actually got another one. Oh, they just blew that guy's face off. See, but this is a cool shot. So, Kale, I'm already running out. I gotta get these squads on a speed dial. There's an asset back there that makes tribal music go up, so.
On the way. On the way.
So some of these guys climbing around the ship here. So if it's still going forward, that means they, Alright, give it 10 seconds, and then, feel free to respawn. Alright, go ahead, go for it. Cut his fuel for him. Hale, I'm running up in here, kills that guy. That sound you're hearing is the additional whirring of cannonballs here. Go ahead, move the spawn to the coast. Actually, I'll keep that on the ship itself. These guys are set to hold fire now. Trying to find that guy. Yeah, so they had some wounded on the ship fight. Other boats deployed. It's Skelly, I think, just dying right there. And he decides to DC instead of respawning. So otherwise, you got this group right up here. Ooh, look at that delay in commands. So something's bottlenecking the server. If I were to look at the RPT log, it's probably going to look ridiculous. But yeah, musket balls go through these bushes very easily. Otherwise, some of the players are flanking around on the left. You got these guys also firing over here. Got a lot of people down. This guy's managing to get a flank, knocking out one of the cannons. And this group's also trying to advance. Now, I am going to go ahead and respawn here just to get up to the front line.
Guy, while I do this on.
If it even lets me respawn.
Why are tourniquets like falling off or something?
I'm gonna check the RPT real quick. Something's bottlenecking. Oh man, I'm already dead. Yeah, so something's just murking the server, but the RPT isn't that big.
Okay, you guys, when you're done, especially you, Boom, the slip crew is going to go to the northwest and try to flank fortifications.
Neutron needs CPR as well.
Well, okay, there we go. So I can at least heal myself here. So from what I'm seeing, the issue with it is now it's all silent. The turret guys don't want to die, so I'm just gonna have these guys bail out real quick.
Thanks for the gun, Governor.
And Achilles commands aren't loading. So it looks like the issue with the server right now is the sheer amount of sound files are causing a big amount of issues. All right.
Over there. You'll have another put on the right.
So a lot of people were killed in that. I think it's just my connection that's having that lag issue, from what I can tell. I'm gonna delete those guys. They dropped anchor right there, which is fine. Freaking Kennedy just got blasted right there. Let's see, Fudge is down back here. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that guy. Have a lot of down people back here. So, the adjustment is when they get up to these cannons here, I gotta bail the guys out because apparently they don't seem to get shot in that. Hey, Nim, 1812 shenanigans. Let's go with that. And I think Hatterface just got shot by a cannon.
I'll carry him so the medics can just move.
We're still taking fire back here. So, yep, they're moving the cannons up. I'll probably move the respawn up to each defensive trench at this rate. One of the barrels is cooking off. Medics are doing what they can. There's a big mix of red and blue bodies, that's for sure. Barbarians move the cannon up here. Just have a big mix. So I'm gonna get out of the Zeus interface and go up and see what's going on. Olympus has fallen 1812 edition.
Where are you at?
How's it going?
Where's the medic?
Medic's down over there. Over the fortification. King is
Okay.
down.
Move the gun.
I'm out of bandages.
15 fucking wounds. Alright, yeah. Vincer's
Yeah? What the
That's what I
fuck
did.
am I looking at? There he go! There goes that boy!
Any one of these still alive? Get them inside.
One of them just died.
Those guys off the can. You got Joe
Yeah,
moving
I'm
up
just
the
a
right
quick
flank here.
say. I'm just getting shot.
Don't say.
Bavarian inside.
Good.
Other guy still with us?
That is an excellent question.
I wasn't kidding when I said there would be a massive amount of casualties.
I got him.
He's alive, but he's dying very fast.
Oh, and I'm hit. Barb's hit.
Yeah, we're much safer in here.
Albert, are you up?
Bavarian
Those
got your
little
torso,
limb
got
bars.
your arm, you do have no pulse.
You're better off respawning.
You got about 10
Good, how are
wounds.
you? You're fucked as well.
Yeah, those are the limb bars, so naturally they're going to mess around with those. Nothing I can do about that.
Oh, no,
Somebody
Has a
stole all of mine
cannon,
for some
unload the
reason.
cannon.
Are you alive, soldier? No, you're
Wait,
dead.
heads have no
Alright.
ammo.
You're dead.
Makes sense, right?
You're dead.
And back.
The fuck?
You might want to start working on this guy as well.
Alright, well, this guy's stable. Just give him some blood.
My car, don't worry about it.
That guy's not stable. He's bleeding quite
He's
a
gone
lot,
to the
but
water.
I don't want to waste any
Holy
more bandages.
shit.
These guys are advancing up.
Bavarian, I'm starting CPR, see if I can get your heart moving.
He's got backpack on.
Yeah, it's because there's an open trench right there shooting at him.
Lee, you got a fracture in your right arm, but let's get your pumper going.
I managed to wake
Oh,
up
man.
one shot, and that's it.
Hey, that's right.
It's my body, so I
Oh,
can
I got
build
it.
the cannon.
Horribly injured from the second
Alright, you got a pulse now, buddy.
Get all
Give
the
him some
bodies,
blood.
good lord. Every time I try to make a cannon, I get shot.
Bavarian, you're stable now. Getting blood going. See if I can
Trying to
fix
set
your
these
fracture.
guys are yelling hold fire to...
I'll move on, I'll check you.
Holy squad, how are you all? Pretty
Like,
dead.
so many people have like 50 fucking rounds, but they only get to use 3 or 4.
So I will be honest, most of these mods were made like 1 or 2 years ago. So to jury rig them to work with mods we have here
I can, but he needs CPR.
Pulse
is
is
very
there, got blood
difficult.
going
Did
in.
it restart?
You should be waking up sometime soon, Bavarian. I'll check back on you.
I need to patch myself right
I
now.
need help. Who else is around? He's dead. He's dead.
Check his pulse.
So I'm gonna get this garrison. That's gonna take him a hot
he has
second.
pulse. He has pulse. He's gonna live.
And this cannon just got hit.
Needs bandaged.
All right, I'll do his right leg.
His arm.
Legs done. Bavarian, you are stable. You got blood going in. Gonna stick you with some
Holy
more.
squad, follow that order.
Roger that.
Alright, I'm gonna advance some squads here. Most of these guys are now advancing
Another
as
500
well.
bills Going in.
Gonna kick coming off.
Right is 112.
Some of these guys are
Blood
noticing
pressure,
that, yeah, this is a cereal box.
Just needs blood at this point.
21 over
He'll be
81.
fine.
121 over 81.
We just got
Bavarian,
shot
I'm
at.
surprised you're not awake yet. There he is. There we go.
This one needs blood. He's ready.
Alright, sticking Doom with blood. Doom, I know his name's not Doom, but I can't say ours.
Big mix of red and blue bodies here. I mean, it looks authentic.
Ah,
5
Better
mils
not
going
shoot
in.
that.
You are. You're good.
I don't think I have any bandages though. Yeah, I don't.
I'll give you personal aid. Keep
Now
you-
it's getting some. They're literally just running up and point blanking people with the
Yeah, and 5 more
frickin'
bandages on
muskets.
glucose.
19 over 79. You should be waking up soon. You got blood going in.
Obi's leading a charge here.
Dude.
Let me give you a pack while I'm standing here. If
Oh,
it
thanks.
ain't.
How many bandages?
hell of it.
He's got bandages.
Dude.
I'm awake.
Those are the wrong size balls, by the way.
Today don't move yet. Giving you pack. Boom. You're good.
We're 0.72 inch balls. They're
Amazing.
those 0.69 inch
Anyone
balls.
else?
I'm pretty sure they're both compatible with the other ones.
There's just
Okay,
reload
if
warring right
everybody
here.
is good and you're not doing
Forward,
medical,
Infantry.
move
We're
up
going.
to that manor house. That is clear. We are
Infantry,
going to
come on.
clear that out so we can create a CCP for our medics.
Can I not
I'm
take
recuperating
elastic
my
bandages
supply.
out of here?
Roger that. When you're all ready, move up, move to the manor house and set up a CCP for the boys that are over there.
You want to carry the cannons?
Everyone else, forward.
Boom, do you have extra bandages then, Steel?
Yes, some.
Saying we want to bring the cannons?
Can't, the blue toads
If
have
you
some, but I
can
can't
bring
take them out.
cannons,
I'll
bring
take like
them.
5.
If not, believe them be.
Now I'm just setting up the final area here.
Rule Britannia, that's a good choice.
Think I overhear them talking about some sort of issue with the, not being able to pull bandages out of a crate. Let me go check that. I'm willing to bet if that is an issue, it's because, just the server having an issue with the amount of stuff in the,
can we link from him? Can. Yes, I can. There we go.
I mean, I told you guys in brief, if you want to loot shit, that's what these barrels are for.
Ah, you're right.
Like, what, did I not say that?
Did, I'm just forgetful.
Oh yeah, server is chugging on stuff.
Should be set at this point.
Me too. I got a lot of nuts.
That's good enough.
So I'm gonna move spawn up right there. Got that damn travel music, and now you got the guns that are also gonna be firing here.
Last time I was with you two, you both died. Let's see if this happens again.
Roger that. Copy that. On the way. Copy that.
Fred running up, he's getting shot at. Some people that have gotten hit by the cannons, yep, they're charging that artillery battery point directly. It's gonna cause a lot of casualties. It's meant to be something they flank around. The wounded are being attended to there. Alright, so that entire front group is pretty much wiped. They'll have to go around. Caleb literally using mobility to abuse the AI here, and then he'll just point blank shoot him. And then he pulls out the pistol, misses the pistol shot, and then gets shot in the back. Meanwhile, Obi up here, he's running around trying to stab everyone to death. Again, I mean, we got the barrels right here.
Okay, it moved up.
More barrels over there. Hey, Fabit,
Yeah, it's my bad.
you
I
see,
thought I was on
you
direct.
see these barrels? The
Yeah.
barrels are at every trench line. All the barrels have copies of the fucking stuff you started with at the barrels you at spawn. So each barrel has like 100 bandages, and there's multiple barrels under these things.
I was just going by what the medics were saying.
Like-
we were within advance force out in a field.
Yeah, and then you ran into an artillery battery and got oofed. It was funny as hell.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Alright, Kitty, let's go.
Like, I hate it when I read stuff like that, and I told you that they would be there, and you guys are, like, just trying to make me mad at this point. Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, if they get close, they get hit by this artillery battery here, so let's see if they're smart enough to flank it. It looks like they're bringing their own cannons as well at this point. But I'm going to move respawn up. I mean, even though it's buggy, I mean, this feels pretty 1812-y, except for the frickin' limb bars. I put that in as a joke more than anything, but yeah, they drive like cars.
Should I be playing Rule Britannia or God Save the Queen? God Save the Queen.
Go Britannia.
Fucking hell.
These guys over here are trying to flank. Now you're hearing cannons firing back and forth.
Go all the way
Right there.
Frontline infantry doing their best here. But that cannon battery, it has a lot. And you got these guys back here doing their best using Defilade. You got HE rounds coming in, helping thin things out. So that's a smart use of bringing those cannons. Looks like someone has a limb bar. Yep, so they're actually using the limb bar to bring the cannon up by ace loading, because it's marked as a vehicle. But yeah, definitely a rocky start, but it's starting to even itself out. I'm going to now delete bodies that are behind us. Back in Black is just having some weird internet issues here. I'll admit I do have like Skyrim ambient music playing in the background for this one.
Roger that. Copy.
And then the AI squads I spawn, and I believe are 10. 4,
Running out of
5,
muskets to
yeah,
take.
10. Yeah, Cam's a
Take their
medic.
uniforms, but not our own.
All those little nitpicks. You gotta love the nitpickers in Arma 3, because honestly, for how Arma 3 is, you can't nitpick. It either, you can get it to work this one way, or it won't work at all. Now you have these cannons firing back, literally taking people's heads off. Fred Cross ran in, he got shot, because a lot of dudes are right here. Mac and Black's run up to this rock. I'm hearing people call hold fire. Let me see what squad's doing that. Yeah, so I got them off these front cannons because they appear to be invincible. You still have this battery firing down at people. So I'm gonna have another squad come up and reinforce.
On the way.
So this flank here has pretty much collapsed because they keep going in from the front. They're not thinking about flanking. Maybe this group will figure it out. But they're under heavy cannon fire because they still got a lot of room to maneuver on the left or right. Cannonator just took a shot into the chest right there. That's gotta hurt. And the casualties have mounted.
cannons just absolutely murder.
They do. So, oh no, Canada, come back. So a cannon, it's got, you know, it's very deadly from the front. So if you want to take out a cannon, what do?
It's just you get below its depression, or you go around the side.
You go around the side.
They'll nick you before you get around the side.
Are you sure? Because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I got nothing on their flanks. I'm just waiting for you guys to figure that out. But instead, you guys are trying to brute force this, and I'm just...
And then I took a cannon to the side.
Well, wide arc, silly, because you're still in front of the cannon.
Yes, because I had gone enough side.
You know what? Never mind. Have fun. Just go have fun. He went around, or that was what's that? Yeah, that was Canada on the left, I think. Yeah, he's still in front of the cannon. Like, if you want to flank it, you go like where Calum is, and you flank around. I don't know. That seems obvious to me, but most people don't think that way, apparently. At least the cannons are pretty much cleaning up all the infantry over here. We got this squad that's finally coming around, shooting at these guys on the flank.
Oh, I'm back.
They've gotten 2 of the 3 cannons here. We still have this one. It might be out of ammo, though.
Understood. Wilco.
So I'm literally just going to make 2 patrol groups.
Copy. Roger.
Chabokas Ranapi just got hit. Yeah, so eventually brute force will work. Just because of the numbers game.
Wilco.
This guy's on his own. He's falling back, so I'm just going to delete him. Yeah, but I'm putting the spawns next to these positions. And we'll throw in 2 more squads.
Solid copy. Wilco.
We got a lot of guys that are solo falling back at this point.
Wilco.
So I'll just pull them back and then delete them. Just getting shot at by the flanking force. And so the limbers keep their advance. So, final push at this point. I'm having a bunch of forces kind of consolidate right here to make a battle line. Though this force is kind of sticking out in that direction. Want them to come more direct, but instead they're kind of looping around where these guys are. Now they're providing medical here. Now these guys pretty much just need to rally. Medics need to, you know, start picking up the wounded. And they're taking care of these guys on the flanks here. So these guys have fallen back, and go ahead and delete them. And fresh respawns are still coming in. The issue is you only have like a handful of dudes out of the 30 or so they have in numbers kind of run up, and they're just going to get picked off. And now you have DeVincer right here. He's about to get a very nasty surprise. Manages to shoot one and pulls back below Defilade. Them mass tactics. There's also no destroyed textures for the cannons. So Fab, it looks like he ran up, shot 2 of them. And I'll move the spawn up in another moment or two. Kana King's running back. I guess he was scouting out, seeing there were a bunch of dudes up here. And you have these guys kind of sitting up on the ridge. HE cannonball goes by. I know these yellow ones tend to have HE and regular cannonballs. And Fabit, he's running up right here on his own, though. He's running up into an entire squad. Manages to down one dude. Trying to stick to this tree. Misses that shot. He's trying to one-man army this flank. Misses that other shot. And we have multiple guys down here. And Kennedy also running up. Doesn't realize there's dudes just to his right. Takes a shot. Literally from left shoulder to right shoulder. That's gotta hurt. We have a Rex back here.
Pistol back, and off we go.
These guys don't realize there's a bunch of dudes right here. Babbitt's still doing his best to hit people. Neutron, unfortunately, finally notices those dudes and gets shot. Fudge gets hit, again, because these guys are, like, right here. Limbar being moved up as well. Squads need a rally. I think the medics are still staying back here. Some people are picking up the dead. The cannon group, they've formed their own little artillery battery here. As the infantry are just kind of staying the line. Railbert gets shot as well. Medics are still doing their best to stabilize. Prazi is, I guess, hiding in a tent? But the redcoats, they're making their own little battle line here. Might as well queue up another wave.
Roger. Roger. On the way.
Some of the redcoats have advanced on the left flank right here. And are pushing. Meanwhile, Battery is starting to finally get up to the front line. They're setting up here, checking things out. Right flank, though, had a lot of people go down, but it looks like only 2 of them need serious medical activity here. So Blue Fabit's doing his best for him, and then there's a medic working on Railbert. And they managed to get Railbert back. Nice. And now the left flank is pushing and routing the U.S. forces here. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move us up to the front line. And delete everything behind me. We'll see how long it takes for that teleport to initiate. And get all that set. So now you're just hearing... Let's see, he's trying to angle his gun into a tree. That's cute. Now it's just a matter of red advance here as U.S. forces are trying to get additional troops up. But at least of recent, I haven't been seeing that many deaths. They kind of figured it out in terms of how to use these tactics here. Now you got the cannons kind of moving up on the left flank. And you're seeing a lot of shots go by, but only 1 casualty. Fred is charging on his own. That's gonna cost him his life there. And I'm just gonna make this a pretty nasty forest fight.
On the way. Copy.
And it looks like the limber has exploded, but the cannon is still okay. These guys are really relying on those cannons. Fred looks like he respawned after getting shot. Now you have these forces basically breaking through the line here. I get shot. Yeah, so remote, just something with Arma Zeus cache does not like the loading here. You just have a lot of these guys doing their best here. And now you got this massive blob of red moving up to the capital. So how's this guy? He's still up.
On the way.
Have him commit to the fight, but I'm going to try to push their right flank. I've got these two squads. I'm going to try to set them up to come on the left instead of funneling around on the right there. So you got to give them smaller waypoints. And this guy, we'll see if he either pulls back or keeps going. Fred, though, I think he's looking to hit something there. And we just saw Shabokus get hit by the guy on the left. He gets swatted, though. And the cannons have now turned left as they're trying to hit those targets. Calum has run up. He's trying to point blank people. And Calum might have gotten shot by a friendly right there because it looked like the bullet impact came from the south and he immediately respawns. Now you're seeing more combat here. Back in Black is down. Richie trying to flank around on his own on the left side. That might not do well for him, but at least this squad, it's delaying the cannons. And Fred is going off grid here, way on the right. It's a smart tactic to do. And I'm going to take care of some more bodies back here. Alright, so we're going to start getting on last legs. Reinforcements slightly delayed because it looks like they took some shots from a few cannons here. I am going to just spawn in some more guys.
On the way.
Have them come around.
On the way.
Fred needs to be careful. He's doing a smart tactic, but on his own, it's not going to do too well. And I'm actually going to spawn in an additional squad. But group them up inside the structure here. I just want to make sure they don't run around openly through the walls and stuff, just to have some movement in the compound itself here. So now you're seeing some cannons firing up into these defensive lines, as well as the reinforced infantry on that flank. So he's trying to find the perimeter. I'm a little disdain that Caleb picked a medic role if he's going to just run out and get shot. And he gets shot by a friendly shot right there. Caleb, hold on a second. Come over here. In the future, can you not take medic roles and then charge in the front line? Because there's actually people playing medic and healing people as they advance, because that's kind of a waste of a slot. Alright, I'm just asking.
Most people I find have 15 wounds.
Because, you know, we actually have medics staying back here that most are in the back line doing their job, you know? So it's kind of annoying to see people take the slot that can only do that job and just instead charging on the front line. Because he's really the only one doing it. At least Tori here, he just medic fab it up. You know what I mean? Like, I hate seeing medics on point. Kennedy has found a new strategy. He's playing unconscious, and he is scanning the countryside. He knows that if he acts like he's dead, he won't get shot at. That's a very interesting strategy, to say the least. So I'm gonna get these guys off the cannons on the corners, because the walls are starting to get breached. And they're running down. They're jumping the walls here. Adav shoots the guy in the face. And I'm gonna now try to bring these guys to quickly run in here. Fred still out here doing his wide flank. They managed to snipe the cannon. So I'll go ahead and G-key him so he stops wiggling it. Yeah, they're calling out the car. That's the frickin' Limbars. Make sure these guys are standing up, because if they're crouched, sticking their muskets through, that's kind of cheap. Now you got this massive counter push coming here. Medics doing their best to get people up, though. And I guess the Limbar has a broken wheel, and that's what that is? I don't even know what to describe that as. The cannon's back here. Blobby gets blown away by something. Otherwise, these guys on the front starting to get encircled here. Fred is up here trying to friendly wiggle. I mean, he's bright red, so I would hope he doesn't get shot at by friendlies. But you never know. Alright, so medics out in the open here, trying to medic each other up to keep them alive. They will be needed to the front. Fred Cross now sprinting around, trying to get to his buddies. A group of 4 has breached in right here. Rex trying to run up and do a point-blank shot. Not sure if he made it. Gets that hit right there. Welcome back. Rex still alive, just dancing around the musket guys.
On the way. Welcome. Copy that.
Have them try to flank around on the back.
Copy that. On the way.
And bringing a few more squads along the entrance.
On the way.
Now, this flanking force, they're going wide here. Some are set to defend only, but they're still engaging because of that cannon. Doing their best to hold that position, but most of these guys are trailing things around. So I'm going to teleport up here. It's going to take a hot second.
I found the Liru.
Alright, guys, are we secure?
Yeah, we did it.
Get on the walls! Let's make sure all the Yanks are dead, and then we'll do what we came here to do.
Gotta make sure they're dead.
Everyone who can shoot, get on the wall.
To the wall, boys!
Anyone who can shoot, get up on the wall.
I want to teleport Fabit up, but it would lag too much to the point I wouldn't be able to get him up there.
I can't switch, I've been blind in both eyes.
What do you mean you're blind in both eyes?
I can't see, sir.
Golden experience, my friend.
I just follow the sounds of the
On
gunshot.
the way.
It's fair.
On the way.
It's actually probably fairly realistic. They
Wait,
take
else
us.
Yeah.
is everybody good? Or dead?
Copy.
That guy needs some help.
Copy that.
Alright, guys, someone be a runner and tell everyone who's not in the compound here to get in the compound.
Run away, Canadair.
Canadians
Canadair,
on
get back! What are you doing?
sliding on the floor.
Run and tell people to get to the compound.
You're broken. That's all you see.
Sliding on
We need to get everyone in the compound here.
Zion, watch out behind you.
face is fucked as well.
To the compound.
Understood. On the way.
One flight of stairs or there two?
There's only one.
There's only one way up.
These types of ops, they're really tough to make, but they're so
All of you get
satisfying.
inside.
They built it. They took one of the tents and they built it in the entrance.
Sorry, that was me.
They just freaking built a tent on top of them.
Right onto that hill. Right there.
Understood. Copy that. On the way. On the way.
Infantry to the southwestern shots. Take them out, please.
I was gonna say northwest.
Northwest.
Are there enemies coming that way?
Nah, it's part of the ship.
Here, crossing this first one. Crossing.
I've fired, so I'm moving now.
Alright.
The fuck did he even
Yeah,
get on
there's
the
a-
walls?
Full squad northwest.
UK flag will work. $108, yeah, so I still got time till the next one. Alright, let's do a massive fallback here.
Roger.
Setting fire to this place yet?
On the way.
I need 2 to 3 infantrymen to look to the southwest. We have enemy coming from that direction.
Enemies coming southwest. Let's move.
Bloody Yanks.
For me, Marines, yar.
Why can't I turn?
It does that.
It's weird because for a while I was able to turn, and now all of a
No,
sudden
no,
I'm
just
not
give
able
it
to
some
turn.
time. You might not be able to turn that way because when you pick up your gun, it keeps the orientation it was at. So if you were
Oh,
turned all the way to the
wacky.
left, you stay.
Kane, don't touch those yet. Those are for the end.
Therefore, when we are to destroy this place, yes, I understand that.
Moving inside.
Well, I am clipping straight from one orientation, one direction to the next.
Oof.
I'm
Oh,
just
I see
getting
that,
my
that is weird.
ammunition back from the barrel.
Alright, Joe.
Yes.
I need you to start telling everyone to rally at the entrance. I think we won.
All units, rally at the entrance. Rally at the
Everybody,
entrance.
Get everyone to rally.
Entrance to the northeast. Go.
Rally at the entrance.
Infantrymen, off the walls. Rally at the entrance.
He's got
We won the day.
We were the rear artillery battalion.
Cannoneers,
Yes.
well
Fucking
done.
tent.
Dismount your cannons and move to the entrance. We have secured the fort.
This one's my cannon. Don't touch it.
don't touch my cannon.
Barbarian,
We have
like an
hour left.
did you hear me?
Alright, if you can hear my voice, start coming towards it.
We have secured the fort. Go to Liru.
Alright.
What's all this then?
Get noise. Get to where everyone
I
else
would
is.
like to declare a victory for the British. However, we still need to do one thing. So the first 9 people that are able to grab one can join me on this endeavor. Who built a tent right there? Guys, historically, on the War of 1812, the British burnt down the White House. It's not showing the flame texture. God, the server hates me. Alright, we're going to use our blowguns.
Get in line. Everyone else, hold back.
I have a better idea.
Fire line. Mount up.
Just shoot the house.
The house!
Ready.
Drive
Hey.
by the house.
Fire.
Reloading.
I'm out of ammo.
Get the cannon! Get the cannon! Somebody get the Royal Artillery!
Doing some very minor.
Somebody get a cannon!
Not a Frenchman.
Grabbing my cannon.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I made a mistake! I made a mistake!
American.
Show the house what for.
There is no flame.
There is an enemy left alive.
I made a mistake! Don't shoot me!
You are bleeding, Fred.
Can you fire from that position?
Everybody clear away. Cannons. Open fire.
The server is so borked.
Oh.
Crossing.
Okay.
No!
Apparently an American survived. It's time to execute him.
Hold fire. Hold fire.
Kill him, no!
Everybody make room for the cannons.
No, we're gonna execute this guy.
I need the mayonnaise.
So the server, if I were to tab out real
Pull the
quick,
engine away.
has a massive amount of sound file issues. It's not sizing up, it's actually smaller than a standard RPT file.
2-stage fire line. Build up on command.
I'm bleeding out, but sure, let's do it.
Yeah, we're all
I
bleeding
got
out.
shot by a
Let's
cannon.
go to the cannon line.
Cannons, switch away from explosives to the balls.
Last words, please. Last words.
Cannoneers, if you can, switch to grape shot.
God, don't, you'll kill all of us.
Give me a moment.
The ricochet off the building will kill everybody.
Yes.
Fine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Here it goes.
Automatic
Fuck you, Yankees.
Okay, all cannoneers, switch back to ball. If you go to grape, I am not responsible for what happens. I have given you your orders.
Don't worry about it. We got it.
To move.
No matter what you do, you British.
Who built a
scum.
tent?
America will live.
Come on.
Allow you to kill me.
Range and not base.
Okay.
Ready for fire.
Aiming.
This is kind of racist. You're shooting the older Asians.
Cannoneers ready.
Ready.
Infantry ready.
Ready. I got no ammo.
Aim. Oh.
He got killed by the fire. Who fired first?
Not, he died from the shock.
No, I fired after I saw that he fired.
The intimidation of the king's men has killed the last of us.
Alright,
Congratulations.
I got a good picture there of all of you, so I'm gonna go ahead and index. I hope you had fun, but welcome to janky as shit 1812 memes.
Hold fire. Hold fire.
Get out of the fucking cannon.
Hold fire.
Viva la revolution.
So long.
Oh my god.
Build tents.
Yes.
Oh, 3 seconds to be
Next time bayonets.
Ah, that was hilarious.
People.
Fucking random tents.
I can't even get out the server. Oh my god.
I got 3.
So,
I killed 3 as well.
once again, I set your boats to invincible, and you guys dropped anchor, and somehow, even though I tested this, hold up, even though I tested it, you guys still somehow got forward momentum when you dropped the anchor, and it caused you to explode. Even though you were invincible, which
It was amazing.
I don't, and you did it twice on 2 separate boats. I'm like, wow, amazing. And then,
Okay.
We're just like, we need
no,
to stop.
hold up.
Drop the anchor.
Hold up. Even better, Barbarian then gets on a new gunboat and accidentally drops the anchor, and then the boat literally turns 180 degrees.
What way?
That
But
was
the
someone
back
else.
probable.
But otherwise, you guys started. You killed the 2 gunboats. First one I end keyed. Second one you actually killed, which I thought was cool. Dealt with the squad on your left. Docked. Had a bit of jankiness. Some of you quickly realized that getting hit by a musket ball will oof you. But even then, it was a bit of a slow start. But you guys eventually bounced back. Took their cannons, used them against them. Tactics went from people running around with their heads cut off to just massive line infantry blob tactics, which did work to your advantage. It's the only mod set where that is a good idea. And you eventually took the capital. My flames decided to break because the server, even though its RPT size isn't as big as a standard TSB main mission, it was just giving a shit ton of sound files that were clogging the sound file issues that were clogging the server. So all my Zeus commands were delayed. It was funny as hell, but. Any like little nitpicks like on uniforms or people having X amount of ammo, that was because some of the AI, they'll start shooting from about 75, 100 meters out, and I don't want to give them only 5 musket balls and to run out. And the reason the magazines for the bayonets were empty was because I knew you guys would take that and start using them. Because the bayonets, it's not like the Faces of War bayonet. It's literally a mini machine gun that you can fire as fast as you can pull the trigger that only works up to a foot away. So obviously that would have been abused, and that's why it wasn't there. So... and then, I told you guys that barrels would have resupply, and I heard people complaining that there was no resupply, and I wanted to reach through my monitor and strangle some of you, but that's okay.
Well, the problem was we couldn't take them off the enemies.
That's why you had the barrels in every trench line. Every freaking trench line. You're killing me.
In order to stop a boat, I realized you just have to kill the engine, or turn off the engine with scroll wheel. And then the boat will instantly stop. Or it will continue a little bit drifting, but yeah.
Yeah, I was adjusting them as need be, but nonetheless, hope you had fun with blob tactics. Who are the squad leaders? I don't even know how to do this debrief properly.
There wasn't much of a command structure.
Fair. Alright. Last thing I will say, though, is...
King was telling us what to do, and then everyone else kind of either did it.
Well, yeah, he was the king, so it makes sense, right? Last thing I will say, if you pick a medic slot, please don't be the guy running on the front line, because there were actually a lot of the medics today doing their best to medic people, and I thank you guys for that, because that was a cool part about when you'd finally take an area, the medics would kind of comb the dead, bring a few people back, others would die on them, and that's exactly what a medic should be doing, so please don't take one of those vital slots and start doing stupid stuff with it. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Otherwise, yeah. Go ahead. King, you are apparently the king here, so you want to give a debrief? You're the king of kings, even better.
Okay, so before anything else, I would like to apologize. I was the one they dropped the anchor on the sloop. So that was my blow up.
Told you it wasn't me.
Okay, so after we then got the re-sloop back, we moved forward, did a bit of navaling, cleared out those 2 gunboats, and then parked at the dock. I think we went through every single cannon round on the 2 front swivel guns, which was good.
We did.
We then took the nearby naval yards and the naval manor. That took a bit, but after we took some cannons, that started clearing up. Everyone then started moving forward when we had the chance and cleared out the nearby crossroads, and then started suppressing in the hill while most of the medics and a few others kept moving up. We then found the 4-pound guns and put them in our little Vic thing, and the infantry started pushing through the forest. It was at that time I just started running around and got everybody to start blobbing.
Yeah, we have
together.
another op in officially in 40, but I'm
when everybody
right
was blobbed, I just told them to push to the edge of the trees and hold. You all pushed to the edge of the trees and held. That was wonderful. Once all the cannons were able to move up and got their lines, everybody was pushed into the compound while the cannons provided fire. That was well done. Also, the cannons, very well done for dismounting from your cannons and taking that flanking squad that came from our west. Well done. after that, we got the cannoneers back in and moved in, while the infantry just more or less stripped that place bare of the Americans, and then we just held the line. So that's what happened, and I'm very happy that it all did. You guys did wonderful today. Gunboat squad lead.
Can I just jump in real quick about the first contact? So I was one of the drivers that ended up at the end. I was like, okay, people are fucking up with driving. I'll get in the boat, whatever. And I drove over there. Everyone was on the port side. I so redirected the volley fires and everything, which was fucking awesome. But when we got to the docks, we got stagnated really hard. I grabbed like 5 people and pushed around, and I want to take credit for the first push getting away from the docks into the first compound, because that was fucking fun, just flanking around that big thing, and so much fun. Yeah, I think Pabbit was part of it. That was great. That's all.
Yeah, you literally did that, and the moment I saw you go northwest, I thought, yeah, that's a good idea, and I just started getting everyone else to follow you along.
Yeah,
so, yes, well done for that.
Classic kind of D-Day stuff of just, oh, we're here, we don't know where to go. Okay, so then just go anywhere but here.
Okay, so any gunboat commanders want to say anything?
Only that Charlie's gunboat anchor worked.
Depends on your definition of worked.
That means
No, it fully worked.
well
We
enough.
fully worked. We could drop it and stop.
Okay, now seriously,
back
is
up
any of the other captains want to say anything before I open it to open?